Silicon Valley's wealthiest residents are once again threatening to leave California, this time over a proposed state wealth tax. Now, the proposal would impose a one-time 5% tax on the assets of California residents worth more than $1 billion. It would require residents to report their total net worth, including property, investments, businesses, and other assets, so the state can tax overall wealth, not just income. Critics warn it is a slippery slope, saying that, like the income tax, it'll grow over time and could eventually sweep in the middle class while expanding government power over private savings and property.
I mean, the whole thing is so infuriating. We already pay the highest taxes in the country. We already have massive, bloated, bureaucratic government spending. They've doubled the budget of the state of California in the last 10 years. Is everything twice as good? No, it's all worse. The last time they did this, they said there'd be a top, they had put an extra band of income tax on for high earners. They said it was temporary. They've just re-extended it for another 10 years. It never goes away because they're addicted to tax and spending. And by the way, most of the money will actually go to the unions in the form of pensions and making up for all the shady dealings that they've got there.
Now, if the measure qualifies for the November ballot and is approved by voters, it would apply retroactively to anyone who lived in California as of January 1st, 2026.
Friction between President Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom escalated in Switzerland today. During his speech, Trump criticizing Newsom's leadership, while Newsom has urged world leaders to have a backbone and resist Trump's policies. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris joining us. The friction, no matter where you are in the world, I guess this proves, right? Trump and multiple administration officials also hinting that California could be the next state investigated for fraud. Break down the details, Jeff.
So while speaking in Switzerland earlier today, Trump making it clear California is next. During his speech, the president calling out Newsom, saying that the administration is going to help the people of California, directly referencing crime. Newsom then responding by calling Trump's speech insignificant and also boorish. During his speech Wednesday from Switzerland, cameras capturing the moment President Trump called out California Governor Gavin Newsom, who can be seen smiling and chuckling at the comments.
Gavin's a good guy, and we're going to, if he needed it, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd love to see, we did help them a lot in Los Angeles. I would say this, if I were a Democrat governor or whatever, I would call up Trump. I'd say, come on in, make us look good, because we're cutting crime down to nothing.
Newsom responding with a series of tweets, this one showing a clip of that exchange with the headline, quote, rent-free, and another, Trump is crashing the American economy and wants the world to applaud him for it. It takes skill to be this out of touch.
It was remarkably boring. It was remarkably insignificant. Even by Trump's standards, I was rather curious. And there was boorish parts of it, but those were not even that consequential.
Leading up to the World Economic Forum, Trump hinted that California could be the next state investigated. On January 6th, writing on Truth Social, quote, the fraud investigation of California has begun. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirming that probe this week, while also calling out Newsom for being in Davos with Alex Soros, son of Democratic megadonor George Soros.
The Trump administration is coming to California. We are going to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse. Governor Newsom, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris.
Now, the probe comes following several major fraud allegations, including claims $24 billion in homelessness funds are missing or lost, and reports of ghost students stealing a portion of at least $10 million in federal financial aid from California community colleges.
They never intend to take classes and to graduate. They enroll for the sole purpose of defrauding the federal student aid program.
Now, California's 2024 state auditor's report did not state that the $24 billion in homelessness funds were in fact missing, but rather that spending was not properly tracked. Governor Newsom's office maintaining that the funds are accounted for and the state is investigating any actual fraud. Reporting for the National News Desk, I'm Jeff Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Shirley, thank you for your testimony today and the work that you've done. Americans hear these numbers of the fraud that we have, and whether it's 10,000 or 10 million or 10 billion, sometimes the numbers, you almost become desensitized to it. And so the way that your video was able to show people the fraud sort of in real life actually happening, I think opened a lot of eyes and has helped to catalyze a level of scrutiny that we really should have had before. So you mentioned in your testimony that you think that what you discovered in Minnesota, that this is not isolated to that state, but likely exists in other parts of the country as well, correct?
Correct.
What makes you think that?
Well, now you're seeing, since I've posted that video, lots of other people have started to go to other locations, for instance, in Ohio or in Maine or in California. They're also seeing the similar fraud take place in other daycares, for instance, in a lot of other locations.
Yeah, I have a particular interest in California, being from that state, and we know that there's been a lot of fraud. There was $32.6 billion that's been confirmed in unemployment insurance fraud. There's 1.2 million fraudulent community college applications. Have you gotten any sense, or have you seen any signs there that sort of are similar to what aroused your suspicions in Minnesota?
Yeah, and fraud in California might be worse than the fraud in Minnesota.
What makes you say that?
Well, $24 billion went missing for homelessness. They've been trying to build this train for years, yet there's hardly anything to prove for that. Fires.
Yeah, those are good points. So you look at let's run through a couple of those. Because I mentioned the areas where we have confirmed fraud, but then you also have these areas where you have so much spending, and then we look at what results from that spending, and there's nothing. So $24 billion in homelessness, and yet the homeless population went up, and a state audit found that they couldn't even figure out where the money went or what the outcomes linked to that spending were. Is that something that is kind of a red flag for you?
Yeah, it's a major red flag, and you don't even have to be smart to be able to know that that's a red flag.
Well, unfortunately, our state legislators haven't managed to figure that out, or at least the governor hasn't. So what are you saying about him?
They're not smart. No, but yeah, I mean, it's so obvious, and that's what we saw in Minnesota, is how complicit the government has been in enabling this fraud to happen. Quality Learning Center had over 90 violations, yet they continue to give that daycare $1.9 million.
Yeah, that's a great point. That there's the political accountability just hasn't been there, and that's what enables it to continue. So then you mentioned the high-speed rail as well. So there has been about $18 billion spent so far. No track has been laid, and not a single passenger has ridden the train. So when you spend $18 billion on a train and there's no train, does that raise suspicions for you?
Yes.
So you think that might be something worth looking at?
For sure.
We also had a $650 million 911 service that they scrapped after 6 years, so absolutely no value from it. Maybe that's another example where there might at least be questions.
I think you got a lot in California.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing what you find. We're certainly trying to use whatever tools we have here to bring more accountability in California as well.